Today's video is going to be a short story on a trip that Carson and I just attempted, as well as a conversation about one of the hardest things to do as an adventurer, calling it quits. This month, Carson and I set out for a 2-day adventure in the Highline, and this is what we filmed. We are at the Highline Trailhead in the Highline. I am recovering from a cold. I had a fever a couple days ago, so we're gonna take it easy. The plan today is to head on the Highline Trail toward Naturalist Basin. Once we head into Naturalist Basin, we are gonna find somewhere to camp. It shouldn't be too far, and we shouldn't have a lot of elevation gain. Tomorrow's a different story, but today's gonna be fun. Let's go. So I didn't realize we would be walking into a burn area. Wow, this area is pretty black. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to see. It reminds me of when I used to work in Montana, and there were a lot of, well, I guess I was a wildland firefighter. I guess that's why it reminds me of that. And it's kind of terrifying because you realize that these trees are dead, and yeah, they're kind of scary. Hopefully they cleared all the hazard trees. But it's also really cool because very quickly you start to see new vegetation and really cool new flowers popping up. It's kind of beautiful in a way. And that's it. I noticed Carson was dragging on the trail, which is something that normally doesn't happen, and we took a couple breaks, which is something we usually don't do. We made an assessment and performed a gut check at every break. I was worried he might be getting sick because the week earlier I was sick and had a fever and everything, and I didn't want that to be happening because that would make the trip miserable for him, and backpacking is supposed to be fun. So despite the anxiety of waiting for the snow to melt and the fact that this is something I've been wanting to cross off my list for about 2 years now, we decided to make the call to call it quits and head back home. Could we have sucked it up and continued on? Definitely, we wouldn't have died, we would have made it, would have been fine. But something was telling both of our guts that something was off and we just weren't feeling it. And if you've ever been in a similar situation when hiking or backpacking, you know how hard it can be to turn around. And that's what today's lesson is about listening to your gut. And if you aren't feeling it, abandon your plans and don't feel guilty about it. Fighting through something that is uncomfortable for you is something that you have to get over when you are backpacking. However, sometimes there are times when things are a little more than just uncomfortable or you're feeling lazy. Sometimes your gut is telling you that you're just not into this, that something's not right, and I never think it is a wrong choice to listen to your gut. It doesn't mean that you have failed. Plus, if you were already out there and you abandoned your plans, there's still some kind of good in the day. For example, our day ended up being an 11-mile day still, and any day that you are safe and enjoying the outdoors is a pretty good day. I also got to test out my green super feet a little bit more and finally decided that they weren't working for me. We also did some recon on a climb we wanted to do because we hiked to the base of it and did one pitch, came back down, but now we know that we definitely want to go back and try to go for it again. And it is a really good thing that we ended up turning back because my cold came back that night. Carson got a cold as well, and about 1 or 2 miles before we got out of the trailhead, I was limping really badly because my IT band was flaring up and I was moving very slowly. Quick note about that, I am back to a physical therapist to try and get that figured out. I've gone to one appointment and I have another appointment next week, so I will keep you guys updated. I'm definitely not worried that I will create a pattern and give up more easily on future trips. This is actually only the second time that I have ever abandoned plans like this while I'm already kind of in the middle of them, and I've gone on a lot of trips. Anyways, I thought it was a good conversation because I'm sure a lot of you have stories and can relate or have experience listening to your gut outdoors. Thank you all for listening and being part of the conversation. I'll see you all in the next one.
Okay.
We talked about how we just got in trouble by the Forest Service. We just got yelled at for parking in the horse trailer parking, even though the way that we came in, there were 0 signs